There comes a moment in every person's life, quiet, subtle, almost unnoticeable, when something inside shifts. It doesn't happen during a big celebration or after a dramatic event. It happens in the silence, when no one else is watching, when even you didn't realize it was coming. It's the moment you finally choose yourself. For years, maybe even for decades, you've lived in a world full of noise, a world where everyone seems to speak louder than your own heart, a world where people argue, criticize, demand, and expect. And somewhere in that storm, you learn to lower your voice, to shrink your needs, to hide your pain, to blend in, to be the good one, the easy one, the one who never causes trouble. But deep down, a part of you always knew the truth. Something didn't feel right. You were giving too much. You were bending too far. You were carrying weights that were never meant for you. And every time you ignored your feelings just to keep the peace, a tiny piece of you dimmed. But still, you kept going. You kept smiling when you were tired. You kept saying it's okay, even when it wasn't. You kept holding on to people who kept letting go of you. You stayed in arguments that drained your spirit because you were afraid of losing the relationship. You tried to explain yourself to people who never wanted to understand you. You tried to prove your worth to people who were determined not to see it. But here's the beautiful thing. You didn't break. You transformed. The breaking was actually the awakening. There came a day when, unexpectedly, you felt exhausted in a way you had never felt before. Not physically, but spiritually. A kind of tiredness that reaches deep into your bones and whispers, "Enough." And quietly, without even noticing it, you said those words back. Enough. That one whisper became the beginning of an entirely new life. You started to question the things you once chased. You started to doubt the people you once believed in. You started to see that peace was more valuable than being right. That emotional safety was more precious than being accepted. That your heart was worth protecting, even if it meant disappointing people. You realized you no longer wanted to win arguments. You wanted to win yourself back. That's when everything changed. You stopped trying to fix people who didn't want to change. You stopped trying to explain yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. You stopped letting people drain you in the name of love, friendship, or loyalty. You stopped fighting battles that only left scars on your soul. You learned the power of walking away, not from weakness but from wisdom. Not because you didn't care, but because you finally cared about yourself. And that was the beginning of your liberation. Something incredible happens when you choose yourself. You stop chasing the wrong things. You stop tolerating pain that isn't meant for you. You stop accepting the bare minimum from people who expect the maximum from you. You realize that love shouldn't break you. Friendship shouldn't exhaust you. Family shouldn't silence you. Work shouldn't consume you. Life shouldn't suffocate you. You rediscover the truth. You were meant to live, not just survive. And for the first time in a long time, you begin listening to yourself. You start noticing the heaviness in your chest when something is wrong. You start paying attention to the tightness in your body when someone crosses your boundaries. You start hearing the quiet sadness in your own voice when you deny your truth. You start feeling the spark of excitement when you do something aligned with who you truly are. Slowly, gently, you begin returning to yourself. You learn to say no without guilt. You learn to rest without apologizing. You learn to celebrate yourself even if no one else claps. You learn to leave the room when your peace is threatened. You learn to love yourself as deeply as you once loved others. People may not understand your transformation. Some may say you've changed, and you have, beautifully, because you are no longer the person who begged for acceptance. You are no longer the person who fought to be heard. You are no longer the person who sacrificed your well-being just to keep someone in your life. You are no longer the person who pretended everything was fine while breaking inside. You are becoming someone new, someone whole. And when you choose yourself, something magical happens. Your world reorganizes. The people who only loved the unhealed version of you start drifting away. The relationships that depended on you staying small begin to fall apart. The situations that required your silence no longer feel tolerable. The environments that once felt familiar now feel too tight. At first, this can feel lonely, painful, confusing. But loneliness is not a punishment. It is a purification. It is life clearing space for the people who are meant to see you, the real you. It is life removing the noise so you can finally hear your own voice. It is life separating you from what was built on fear so you can rebuild your life on truth. And then, a new chapter begins. You start meeting people who speak the same emotional language, people who don't get intimidated by your honesty, people who don't punish you for having boundaries, people who don't mistake your kindness for weakness, people who don't need you to dim your light for them to feel bright. These new connections feel different, calmer, deeper, more aligned. They don't drain you, they grow with you. They don't take from you, they meet you halfway. They don't question your worth, they reflect it. But the most beautiful relationship you develop is the relationship with yourself. You learn to be your own safe place, your own source of validation, your own comfort, your own strength. You no longer fear being alone because you enjoy your own presence. You no longer fear losing people because you trust that you will never lose yourself again. You no longer fear rejection because you know rejection is redirection. You no longer fear judgment because their opinion no longer defines your identity. You finally feel free, free from expectations, free from old stories, free from emotional noise, free from the need to prove anything. You begin living your life with intention. You choose where your energy goes. You choose what your heart receives. You choose who gets access to you. You choose what kind of love you allow in your world. And most importantly, you choose the person you want to become. Every step you take now comes from clarity, not fear. Every decision you make comes from alignment, not insecurity. Every boundary you set comes from self-respect, not anger. Every dream you chase comes from truth, not desperation. You finally understand that your life becomes extraordinary the moment you stop abandoning yourself. And now, as you look back at the person you once were, the one who tried so hard, who gave so much, who survived so quietly, you don't judge them. You thank them. Because without that version of you, this version wouldn't exist. The one who is stronger, calmer, wiser, more alive, more present, more yourself. The truth is simple. Your life changed the moment you chose yourself. And from this moment forward, everything will be different. Not because the world changed, but because you finally did. You stepped into your power. You stepped into your truth. You stepped into the life that was always meant for you. This is your second chance, your rebirth, your new beginning, your true path. And now, the world will have to adjust to the real you. The you that no longer hides, no longer apologizes, no longer shrinks, but rises.